Hello everyone, I hope you had a great day. Today we are looking at some new I Do Work Your Lady stories. I hope you enjoy them. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel to grow. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. By subscribing and hitting the notification bell, YouTube will inform you of every new video. And now let's start with the first story, shall we? The first story is called The Owner's Sister. About 3 or 4 years ago, I started a business and we are still expanding. We have a pretty jolly good amount of people working for us. Our office is right next to the front desk. And our open hours are 8 AM to 9 PM. One day, about a year ago, I was working late and was on my computer. The doors were left unlocked because I was just finishing up some tasks and had to head to my mom's house immediately after that. Guess who comes waltzing in? Yes, that is correct, the Karen. Now, since it's past closing time, almost 9:45 PM, the front desk is not there. Karen immediately starts yelling drastically for the front desk. Front desk, I need a pass. I get up to go and confront her. Ooh, hey ma'am, we are closed and… She cuts me off. No, you are not. Do you even work here? Yes ma'am, I'm actually the owner. You are lying. If you were the owner, you would know what the hours of the store were. Karen then pulls her face like she saw a ghost. Did you break in here? I'm calling the police. She takes out her phone and starts yamming 911 into the keypad. Halfway through, she stops, anticipating an I give up response from me. No, I'm the actual owner. You see, She cuts me off again. No, you are lying because I'm the sister of the owner of this place. I can easily call her. I shrug and give her a business card, and she furiously dials in the number. I will never know if she actually called the police. They never came, so I'm assuming she didn't. When she dials the number on the business card, the phone rings and she just gives me this smug look like, haha, now they're gonna back me up. Instead, I gleefully watch her face turn white as my phone rings. I pick it up and say, hello, how may I help you on this fine day? She doesn't do anything for 1 second, completely paralyzed, and then she hangs up and does this fast-walking shuffle thing out the door. I never saw her again. Poor old lady. The next story is called That Was Brilliant. I worked in the IT field for almost 25 years and now I'm considered an expert in my specialty. I'm one of the people who made sure that anything on the internet was permanent and had a hand in building a major cloud service. In the early 2000s, I was already considered an expert and was asked by my employer to present a product at a bank that had just purchased it. I was part of a team with 2 other guys. Each of us was going to give a technical presentation to the IT department. The first guy had been talking for about 5 minutes when someone entered the room and things started going downhill. He was heckling us. Well, when I was at this major retailer, we had problems with that and blah blah blah. The guy had the most annoying nasal snide voice, just dripping with I'm going to blather on about how smart I am by putting you down. God, I wanted to punch him, but even worse, I had to do my presentation in front of him. Maybe he would stop after the first guy was finished. Oh no, he didn't. The next guy got up, talking about a different but related product and its technical features, and he laid into him. Well, this major retailer had so much trouble with blah blah blah. Oh, wonderful. What I didn't notice was how the other people in the room were reacting to him. He was getting the side-eye looks and blatant glares from all the IT guys there. In retrospect, why the manager there didn't shut him up is still a mystery. So when my turn came, I decided to just blow through things and endure him. I started talking about my product and sure enough, he had to say something. Well, at this major retailer, we had one of these, and it gave us a lot of trouble with authenticating into Windows domain servers. This was before Active Directory came out, not relevant to the story, but it gives the tech folks an idea of when. I stood there and listened to him, just nodding along. I can feel this one, no sweat. I said, I know, I installed it. Dead silence. The operating system was about 3.2 or 3.3 I think. I went on, not realizing what had happened. Now we are on version 6, and if I remember right, it was a Windows authentication issue and worked perfectly after a patch. 2 seconds later, it hit me. Oh crap, I just shut down the client. But I continued on with my presentation and he left shortly afterward before I finished. All the IT guys came up and apologized, telling me he had just come over from the major retailer and couldn't stop talking about how they did things and why it was better. One guy said he was an idiot and they couldn't stand him. Outside the bank, everyone was laughing and congratulating me for shutting him down, saying he stepped in it and stepped in it good. We were almost at lunch when we met the sales guy, who had been on the phone, and the first thing he asked was, "Who's Joe?" "Me," I replied, not certain how this was going to go, but he shook my hand. That was brilliant. I was so mad at that jerk, and when he shut him down, I jumped up and started punching at the phone, yelling, "Take that, idiot!" It speaks volumes of the hiring practices that let someone like that get through. The third story is called, "Now You Have to Wait." I'm out of work, so occasionally I drive my husband to and from work, because he has a long commute and at least once in a while I can do the driving for him. Now he works at a warehouse-type shopping center. Between 9 and 10 AM, Monday to Friday, they have senior shopping. His shift started at 9:45. I had some shopping to do, so we walked in together. I went to grab a card and go to the back of the line of regular shoppers waiting for the senior hour to finish up. My husband kisses my cheek and walks into the building. Now we are in our 30s, definitely not close to the 55 or older. The lady at the front of the line starts shrieking that man was just allowed in to shop and didn't wait in line like the rest of us. I stopped mid-card grab and watched it unfold. My husband turns around and politely explains while holding up his name badge, "Sorry ma'am. I work here. I'm just showing up for my shift, that's all. I'm not cutting the line, I promise." She loses it. She demands to speak to her manager, since people are being allowed to cut in line in front of her, and how she has been waiting for over an hour to get in the store. The doors didn't even open until 9 AM, and there are signs everywhere explaining that 9 to 10 is senior hour, and it has been this way for months. My husband continues to try to calm the lady down, explaining that he's an employee, his shift starts in 3 minutes, he's not cutting in line, he's clocking in for a shift. The person watching the door keeps explaining the same. Finally, a manager comes to the front. Karen is now blue in the face from yelling and screaming. It's time for my husband to clock in, and he can't get past the front door because Karen keeps screaming. The manager explains that my husband is, indeed, there to work and get everything ready for the incoming flood of patrons. Karen was having none of it. My husband finally decides that in order to just end the situation, he would use the back entrance at the complete opposite side of the giant building. The manager and my husband share a very knowing look. The manager apologizes to Karen, who now looks incredibly righteous. The manager says he'll have a talk to the employee at the front door. There's some whispering. My husband's coworker smiles a little. It's now 10 AM, and the doors are supposed to be open to everyone. Karen starts looking very, very impatient as the manager standing at the door tells her he can't let the general public in until there are 2 people at the door. We wait and wait and wait and wait. And about 5 minutes after 10, my husband walks up from inside the building to the door and calls Karen on into the building, apologizing for being late as he was being held up. The laughs from the people in line behind her were just precious. She went from blue in the face screaming to red and embarrassed. The last story is called Karen Has a Tantrum. I worked in a haunted corn maze this year. Basically, we dress up and scare anyone who walks through. It was all safe and approved. All workers have to wear a mask, obviously, and dress up as something scary. I was dressed as a little dead girl. It was one of our slow nights, Wednesday or Thursday, and it was like the last 30 minutes. Now, I was tired, hungry, sweaty, and dirty as heck as I crawled on the ground and just wanted to get home. I heard someone walking towards my area and hid like I normally did. Now, mind you, no one is supposed to hide in the corn, pick up the corn, and especially not throw the corn. Only the workers are allowed to hide. We aren't even allowed to walk through the corn to get out, we have to follow the paths. So I hid in the corn, and I heard corn being ripped from a stalk. You know the sound after hearing it constantly from kids and other workers taking the low-hanging ones off. I immediately stepped out, ready to be blunt with the person, and see a woman with 4 kids. The youngest was probably 5, and the oldest was probably 16 or 17, something like that. You can't touch a corn. Whatever you have, put it down and continue on the path. If you are, she interrupts me. Don't tell my child what to do, little girl. The big kid says, "Sorry, we didn't know," and proceeds to remove corn from the small kid's hand. Don't listen to her. She is just a stupid kid. I'm taking this home to cook. She proceeds to stuff corn into her purse and starts walking over, dragging one of the other kids with her. Ma'am, first off, you can't take corn from the maze, and second off, it's not gonna taste. If you don't get out of my face, I will call the cops on you for harassing me and my children. Listen, lady, I've tried being nice. Remove the corn from your purse or I will have security escort you out. She then pushes me. I'm in a dress in the cold, so that fall hurt, and she walks away almighty-like. The big kid helped me up and apologized profusely for his mom before walking over and trying to get the corn from her purse. I had enough when I saw her smack his head and scream at him. I immediately cut through the corn. I didn't care at that moment and headed to my co-worker's area. That day I didn't bring my whistle that was given to us in case of emergencies, so I asked him to follow her out of the corn maze. We are supposed to follow suspicious people like kids constantly going into the corn or people we think are drunk. So my co-worker followed her out of the corn maze, I think, so I was fine with it. She had her warning given and then she would be off on her merry way. But no. The siren rang for us to get out and pick up our stuff. So I followed one of the paths I knew out and was instantly bombarded. I got pulled aside by security as Karen was screaming and crying about how a child was harassing her and her angels, and that a creepy man had followed them out and that she was never so unsafe in her life. She wanted me arrested for causing trauma to her kids. So security asked me what happened. They knew me as a weird worker who would scream Disney lyrics as she walked in to get ready, or show up randomly in an onesie and ask who escorted her out and blah blah blah. I asked her kids not to touch the corn. She didn't listen and even started packing corn into her purse to eat later. Security gave a gross look. This corn is not meant for human consumption. The big kid said, "Please don't listen to my mom. She's just being hysterical again." Nothing like that happened, except the creepy guy part. I don't know if he's a worker or not, but the little one did rip corn from a cornstalk and she was just doing her job. The little kid said, "Mommy told me to, so I can have some since it's free." Karen was away from us at that moment, crying into the owner's sweater. My coworker finally walked out the corn maze, probably helping the other guards take out the trash, and tilts his head confused. He was wearing a clown mask and was a chainsaw guy who ran after people with a chainsaw that had no chain. The big kid said, "That is the dude." "Oh, I asked him to follow you out." "I didn't feel safe following you out because of your mother, and I wanted to make sure you didn't do anything like that again." My coworker walks over and looks at me confused. He usually worked with me, so I could tell his facial features by the slight movements of his body. Karen screamed, "Oh my god, he's the one who stalked me and my children. He's probably some pervert who walks around here to take little kids like the disgusting 30-year-old man he is." Now, this woman had annoyed me, to the point I wanted to hit her, but I started laughing. To the point that I couldn't breathe. He was a 16-year-old kid whose mom was a friend of the owners and several older workers. Karen was losing her mind, confused as to why I was laughing and why the sheriffs weren't arresting me and taking me to jail. That guy? He's a worker here, and he's 16. Now she's going crazy, screaming crazy stuff. That was until my coworker removed his mask and face mask to show how young he looked. I had gotten to the point where I was using my dress to wipe off my makeup because I was feeling gross. Karen was basically standing around, staring at all of us confused on why nobody was listening to her, and I grinned. "Well, as I stated earlier, ma'am, please remove all corn in your possession, or I will have security escort you out. Or maybe your cup of tea is a sheriff?" She is now banned from the corn maze premise for as long as I work there, and I intend on working there for a long time. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories in the comment section below. Have a great day. Bye bye.